Do you get your 50-50? Yep.
There you go. One for you. Enjoy the game.
Boys, hey, play fast. Let's put in the work here for 60 minutes. Hey, fellas?
Across Canada, at arenas like this one, hockey players are pursuing their NHL dreams. But they're doing it under a growing Hockey Canada cloud amidst calls to change that toxic culture. We want to find out what hockey players have to say about this, so we're going to go talk to some of them on their off day. Travis Hensrud, Davis Fry, and Captain Dawson Milliken have agreed to talk to me at a difficult time about a sensitive topic. It's, eyes on you, right?
Yeah, sure. Everyone knows everyone.
The Hockey Canada scandal overshadowing this season.
So my name's Brock McGillis. I was a hockey player.
The Manitoba Junior Hockey League hired an inclusivity advocate to tackle part of what many have described as a toxic hockey culture.
If the language I heard made me, self-harm and try to die, imagine the impact that the language has or the bullying has on somebody who doesn't have all that I had going on.
We watched parts of Brock McGillis's presentation together.
Before you know it, it keeps spreading. Your entire team starts using it. All your friends start using it because you are influencers.
How hard would it be for someone on a team like that to be able to push back and say, you know what, this is not right. We shouldn't be doing this.
It takes a lot of guts for a guy to stand up, but when you do, that your voice is loud and other people will follow with what you say. It usually takes that one guy to speak up and create that culture of, listen, we're not going to do that. This is not how our organization acts or how we act as individuals in our communities.
Do you think that the locker room has changed at all?
Over the years, it's definitely changed a lot, just with everything going on. I think when I was younger, there was obviously more of people didn't really care what they said. But now, I think that we're older and know the consequences.
Yeah, we have very high standards, and that's I think it's good for everyone. Everyone has a goal to reach, just to become a better person and individual every day, on and off the ice.
Guys hold each other accountable for what they do say, and you got to just come into a room and just treat everyone how you want to be treated, basically.
In the dressing room and in the community.
It's your turn. Is it your serve or mine?
The Pistons have pledged to do 1,500 hours of community service this season, from sports with seniors to helping out at the local food bank. A way of giving back.
We'll come here in December and do like food hampers for the food drive.
But also getting players outside their insular hockey bubble, pushing them out of their comfort zones.
And if this doesn't get corrected, we're not going to get here.
Head coach and GM Paul Dick is a busy guy, but he also took time from hockey to speak with us about the scandals and the added pressure on his players. I just read a quote from the Minister of Sport. She said, "A re-envisioned Hockey Canada must develop not only exceptional athletes, but also good citizens who respect women, the public, and the law." What are you doing here to achieve that goal?
Yeah, well, I think respect is huge. When we have our initial meetings at the beginning of the season, it's a word that comes up a lot. Having respect for one another in this room, first and foremost, and then for people in our community of different, age and genders and race.
There are Canadians out there that are kind of judgy right now about what's happening with junior players. They're pointing fingers. They're saying, these are entitled young men who think they can get away with anything they want. They're treating women badly. They're treating minorities badly.
It's not a reflection of everybody in this game. We're in this community of 18 to 20,000 people, or whatever the size of Steinbach is now, and our players are well known in this community. They're very, very visible.
Eyes on them.
Yeah. There's no anonymity here in a small community. We have a tremendous fan base. So with that, there's a responsibility for our players.
And when they leave here to play in those big tournaments that they all hope to play in and that you've coached in, whose responsibility is it at that point to make sure that they're behaving and that they're good ambassadors for the sport and not hurting somebody?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, the players should obviously, you'd hope they'd make good choices. But yet, to me, the staff in those, at that environment is, and it, you know, for us in 2015 at the World Junior A Championships, our team won the gold medal. And after the fact, we knew there was going to be a celebration, but we also gave them parameter on what this tonight was going to look like for them. And you know, who was going to be involved. We're in a community we do not know anyone. This should be a players only event, and where we checked in every so often. So, you know, the players, yes, they're 17, 18, 19, and you expect them to make good decisions and make the right ones, but that's a collaborative effort.
Who do you think, you know, is responsible for changing the toxic parts of the hockey culture? Because that's come under a lot of spotlight lately.
Yeah, well, I think everybody needs to play a part in that role. I mean, one, it's parents, and sometimes athletes have been not held accountable for their actions, and that starts at home often. But in younger coaches as well, and sometimes the better players, when they say things, well, there's not accountability because he might score 3 goals for us that night, and they can't be given any special treatment, in my opinion.
Hey, yo, good job. Way to go, Anthony.
Across the country, hockey is grappling with the challenges.
Blue line center and then the far blue line.
Okay, and hold same side and then go.
Ian Devlin understands it's everyone's responsibility. It's one reason he mentors younger hockey players.
There you go, finish strong here, last one, last one.
Devlin is the captain of the BC Hockey League's Coquitlam Express. He wants to be a good role model to kids coming up through the system.
You need a certain level of maturity to be able to deal with some of those heavier conversations, but I'd say for sure by the years of, you know, maybe 13, 14, as hockey really starts to ramp up and, you know, kids start to get more intense, you know, parents start to get more intense, the whole hockey world seems to really start, you know, closing in on you. They really need to forge, you know, a solid set of values and beliefs by that age, because by the time you get to junior hockey when you're 16 years old and you're playing on a team with, you know, some kids who are 20, some kids live across the country from you, it's just an entirely different dynamic. Exactly, right? It's a learning curve for sure.
Still, Devlin knows accountability and change starts at home.
I think it just starts with looking in the mirror and doing the best you can every day, both to be the best hockey player and the best person ultimately that you can be, and then going out from there.
In order to be a good teammate, to be a good player, to be a good human being is following all these things, whether it be your
Telly Campbell has seen the ugly side of hockey from the bench as a coach.
And the entitlement and you know, kind of the wrong things that were happening, the disrespect that some of the players would have for, you know, fans in the stands.
Now, as one of the youngest GMs in the BCHL, he's tackling that from the front office.
It really is like having 23 kids every single day. You know, you're always trying to manage the on-ice part, you're trying to manage their academics because a lot of them are still in high school or getting ready for university. You're managing them being away from home, so a lot of homesickness. And you're managing a 16, 17-year-old who's going through a maturity piece too, right? And they're just trying to learn themselves as well through this whole process.
And they can be used for
learning through talks like this one.
I think you have more influence on Canadian culture than NHL players. You're in every community in Manitoba. Adults worship you the same way as they do NHL players. So do little kids.
Do you feel pressured by that, or how does that make you feel?
I think it's a good pressure to have. I mean, you see all little kids, and it's kind of the first time I experienced like big fan base and all the kids like asking for autographs after the game, and it's kind of put a shift on my view of things, and knowing that like all these little kids look up to you and they pretty much think you're the NHL and you're their hometown team.
I used to love my junior team. They were my heroes. I saw them being kind and doing good things. I would most likely pick up on that and be like, hey, those are my heroes. I want to do good things. Hometown
team, hometown heroes. The pressure of influence, for bad and for good. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Steinbach, Manitoba.